This is a message to you. Matthew 25 verses 1 through 5 says, "At that time the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps but did not take any oil with them. The wise ones, however, took oil in jars along the bridegroom time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep." Let me encourage you to stay with me to the end of this message. It won't be long, but it is important that you hear the whole message. Like a good 2-hour mystery movie, one that is full of intrigue and twists and turns. Every time you think you have figured out the mystery, the writer throws in another twist that you did not see coming. It isn't until the very last minute that something dramatic happens, and then you see the credits start rolling and you are left in wonder. I did not see that coming. I had never imagined that it was going to end that way. You get my point? So stay with me to the end. Jesus taught the crowds that followed him some very important lessons, and one was through parables. A parable is a simple story that requires you to see yourself in the story. The story touches on something spiritual and or moral and is meant to provide a definite choice. We're looking at a text today that is part of a parable of 10 virgins. This story has a Jewish cultural setting. There's going to be a wedding, but the guests do not know when. So they are to get ready and wait until the groom turns up and collects all who are ready. And once that is done, the door is shut and those left behind or outside cannot attend the wedding banquet. In this story, 5 girls had oil for their lamp, but because they anticipated a long wait. The other 5 did not have reserve. They all fell asleep, but sometime later there was a loud announcement that the groom is coming. When they got up to light their oil lamps, 5 of them did not have oil to light lamps. They begged their friends to share oil, but they simply told them, "We have only enough for ourselves. But why don't you go out and get some oil real quickly?" Well, you guessed it right. While they were gone, the groom arrived, and only the 5 with oil in reserves could go to the wedding banquet. When the others returned, the door was shut and they were left behind. What is this parable about? Well, let me use a made-up story. There is this young man who wants to study economics. He has been accepted into the local college, but he is registered temporarily until he is able to pay the tuition. He's been attending classes, and when he gets some money, he pays up. Truth is, he's doing fairly well, and he makes it to the senior year, takes the finals, and is awaiting the published list of students who will graduate. His name is not on the list, and the Dean of Students' office tells him that he has to get his registration sorted out in order to make the list. Time passes, and now it's a few days before graduation, but while he's in the middle of sorting out his registration, the deadline to make the list of people graduating comes and goes, and sadly he did not make it in time. He won't graduate. Sad, isn't it? Oh, Jesus ended his story by saying, "Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour." That is the critical point. What day or hour is he talking about? Remember, put yourself in the parable. You have been invited to this wedding with no date. You know the culture. You have to be ready when the groom turns up. Except in your case, it was a long wait, and when the groom comes, you are not ready. You have no oil for your lamp. What does the rule say? What does the cultural norm say? If you don't get in when the door is opened, you'll miss the event. They will not open the door a second time for those who came later. Imagine your disappointment when you review your life for the long period leading up to D-Day. You have been going to church occasionally. You have been doing good to people regularly. You even lived your life a certain way. No one could accuse you of doing things that are wrong for someone who is a child of God. But you don't have oil for your lamp. You see, right now when things are going well, there is oil in your lamp, but you don't have a separate bottle of oil in reserves in case the wait goes on for a long time. You decide to take your chances, so you turn the lamp out and you go get some sleep. Well, you're awakened later by the alarm, and to your amazement, you've run out of oil to get your lamp going. Surely Clyde will give me some of his oil. He doesn't. Nobody does. And sadly, you did not make it. What is this all about? My friend, Jesus is coming back for those who are ready to go with him to heaven. The oil here means salvation. It means that you have the Holy Spirit living inside of you because you are born again. You've known this all along, but you're hoping that you can get in on your good works or your family connection or your church attendance. Unfortunately, when Jesus comes and you are not born again, you do not have the Holy Spirit, then you are not ready and you cannot go back with him to heaven. Then it is too late. You're scrambling around trying to find somebody who will help you to get born again. Too late. My friend, be ready. Have oil. Have the Holy Spirit inside of you. Be born again. Make sure when Jesus comes, you are ready and waiting. If you want to know more about how to be born again, why don't you send me an email at friendofclyde@gmail.com. God bless you.